you have a couple of kids, you don't like living in LA anymore, you make the decision to come back to Oklahoma City. Do you have a job before you come back to Oklahoma City? Or did you
I
just
brought
move
my
back?
job with me.
Okay.
So before moving, I was a TV news reporter. After having my daughter, I hated those hours. It was just like not it for me anymore.
Was it like were you a morning? Or was it just...
You're 17-hour days.
Oh, it sounds awful.
It's 24 hours. It just is.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Los Angeles, and the mentality is that everybody hustles and everybody grinds. My husband was at WeWork.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with that. Like, both of us were working 24 hours a day. You weren't sleeping, you were working.
Yeah.
And that was fine, especially because we loved what we were doing, until all of a sudden we had these small people who needed attention as well.
Yeah.
And there wasn't enough of us to go around between having children and working. And so I left TV news and started working as the managing editor at a Christian teen girls publication called Project Inspired.
Okay.
And I did that for 5 years. That was a great job. The numbers we were putting up at that website were huge. Our biggest monthly page views ever was 14 million. I know,
I mean,
it's
put
wild.
that into context. How many did you get from 4 or 5 now?
Well, we've got about 40,000 in our...
So it was massive then.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like,
yes.
That's
Yes.
crazy numbers.
So we reach a couple 100,000 across platforms with 405 Magazine, but
So
that was
14
literally a worldwide thing, and it was Christian teen girls from all over the world.
Yeah.
We had a pretty big following in Africa, South America, things like that. But I brought that job with me to Oklahoma City because I was doing it virtually.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
It was great. I loved that.
And you're getting paid LA prices and living in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and that was
even better.
That was like evident in the house we were able to get and things like that. And that job ended, and I applied for this job at 405 Magazine in 2019 and did not get it.
Yeah.
And so when it became available again a year ago in 2021, I circled back around and did get it this time.
Gotcha. So you recircle back, you apply, and I mean, there's a great lesson in there, right? If you don't get something the first time, keep trying, right?
Right.
It's not no, it's no just right now, and it might not be no later.
I in hindsight, I'm really glad I didn't get it then.
Yeah.
Just simply because trying to be a working parent during the pandemic with school-age children was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And this job is pretty demanding. I just don't think I could have pulled them both off at the same time.
Right.
And so in this season of life, when both my kids are in school, I'm able to devote the time and energy needed to doing it. But what's crazy is when I didn't get that job in 2019, it stung because I knew I would have crushed it and I knew it was a good fit. And so I kind of put it out of my mind. I tried unfollowing them on social media, but it was always coming
you see it
up.
Everywhere.
Like it was nagging. I would see, we have a really large presence in the city. It would come up, and for some reason I had this gut feeling that story wasn't over. And then I'd tell myself, oh, no, it's good. I like where I've landed. But it was just always in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's some of the things that I had turned down, and you can't stop seeing those things.
Right?
It's like, I've got to do something about it. It's really irritating me.
Right.
It just nags at you, doesn't it? And you can't explain it to anyone else. And even if you do, they still don't get it. And you're just like, I want this job. And then it probably eats at you even more. And even though sometimes you think, I could live without this job, there's part of your brain saying, no, you need this.
Right.
Because you'll be really good at it.
It's so crazy, the internal conflict that happened for those few years and how spot on I was and how hard I tried to talk myself out of it.
So you finally get the job, middle of COVID, right?
Actually, it was
end of COVID.
Not the end, because we're still kind of in the end, but it was at the end-ish. It wasn't in the worst part of it anymore. It was July of last year.
What was that kind of interview like, and what was your sales pitch, I guess, to the people hiring you to say, I'm the right person for this job, you should hire me?
Well, I work for a husband and wife publishing team. Mm-hmm. They have a couple of different magazines, and she and I connected on a really deep soul level even the first time.
Yeah.
I could tell she wanted to go with me the first time, but I didn't have much experience in print. And they gave it to somebody way senior who'd been at the Oklahoman, and I could just tell. So when I circled back around, I I said, oh, hey, I didn't expect this role to be open. She's like, oh, do you want to apply? I'm like, no, I really love what I'm doing. I had gone on retainer for a couple of different brands doing marketing. I'm like, what I'm doing right now is just really profitable and flexible. But
totally soft selling it, right?
But
like,
let's meet for coffee.
Yeah,
and
I'd love to hear more about it.
Let's just meet for coffee. Let's just be friends.
Right.
And we met for coffee, and it was just, we were vibing, and she said all the right things. And I found myself saying yes. I couldn't not. You know, if you're thinking about something constantly, it's probably something you should do.
Yeah.
It's just like, I didn't even work there. I had already told her no. And I'm in the shower, like, running through all these story ideas. And so I interviewed with several different people, them, the team, the people who would be my art director, Christopher, some of the writers, things like that. Yeah. And I remember talking to my husband about it and was like, it's sort of like with the LA thing.
Yeah.
I have to know. Right. If I don't, it's going to eat at me forever.
Yeah, because you're always going to think, what if?
Yeah.
Right? And that's the worst thing you can ever have.
Like, why did I play it safe?
Yeah.
Why didn't I just at least see how it's going to work out? And I kid you not, it clicked immediately. It was just like evident that this is what I'm great at. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. This is how I can help the city move forward, get the word out, tell people stories. Yeah. It was just the right gig at the right time.
Super exciting too, because there's so much going on here, right? Like every corner you turn, there's something happening. Like
this
even
is
just
one of the
driving
most
down
exciting
here.
Places to be in the country right now.
Yeah.
Like we are just rising every day, a new thing.
Yeah.
Women's softball World Series just busting through. We're having, like, our population is just climbing shocking amounts. We're the 20th largest city now.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's unheard of.
Crazy.
We were sitting at not the Collective, but the one that's across the street from Scissortail. What's that called?
Sorry, I can't think. Like...
the group of restaurants, and then there's the second floor.
Oh, yeah. Social Capital.
Yeah. We were sitting there the other night on the second floor, and there was a concert happening at Scissortail Park. And I look over, and from Scissortail Park to the convention center to the Omni, none of this was here.
No.
5 years ago. Like, I got emotional at the time just thinking of what the city has been able to accomplish.
And they're beautiful buildings too.
Yes.
Like convention center at night when it's lit up.
The whole
fantastic.
thing, breathtaking. Yeah, I feel like Scissortail Park, like the statue was sparkling, the music was playing. Yeah. It is vibrant right now, and the city did this for itself. That's my favorite thing about it. Yeah. Like, not to talk bad about the Gathering Place, but that was gifted to them by an individual or a foundation. Everything that we just talked about, the city bought for itself. Yeah. That's what I find so inspiring about the whole thing.
Yeah. And then that makes you, like, kind of reinforce the decision to come to Oklahoma City over going to Austin, Nashville, Dallas, or the other ones that were on, because there's something different about us here compared to those cities, compared to LA. I mean, you come here and you're like, these are my people. Right. Like everyone's kind of moving in the right direction, and they want to go to the next level.
Yeah,
right? They'll do anything they want to get there. It's
that, for lack of a better term, it's that why not mentality. Russell Westbrook had it. Mayor Holt has it. The vibe of the city has it. I have it. It's like we're building something cool. We are getting to be a part of history, and it's like this fun, amazing, inspiring time. If you want to do something in Oklahoma City, you can. Like, the story hasn't been written yet. It is on the upswing.